All right, hello everybody, and welcome. You're here for how to build AI skills for your career. My name is Albert, and it is Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Hope you're enjoying your summer, and we can do a little bit of AI learning before going out and enjoying the rest of our day, evening, morning, night, wherever you may be. My name is Albert. I am a product marketer and job search guy, founder of Albert's List, a community with over 50,000 members, of whom many have found jobs at local tech companies. We are a job search, AI, and side hustle skills organization, helping you become the most resilient and indispensable professional you can possibly be. The LinkedIn I have is over there in the corner, so feel free to add me. Just let me know you met me here. Although I understand now that LinkedIn doesn't let you add people and send a message unless you're a premium user, which really stinks because of other opinions that I have. All right, a little bit about Albert's List. We have our group here. Our QR code is up there. We run workshops just like this every single week, whether it's AI, job search, anything else. And so we invite you to join us, introduce yourself, get to know our members, be a member yourself, and let us help you in your career wherever you may be. And so today's agenda will be a little bit of this. It'll be an overview of what AI is. I am not a technical person, but I try to sound as technical as I can be. And then we're going to talk a little bit about how AI is impacting work. And then we're going to do a couple of demos. And the couple of demos that I have for you today are vibe coding, which you may have heard of, which is the ability to build a website by way of literally just typing in what it is that you want. And then also how to use ChatGPT as a mock interview partner. And we're also going to share a bunch of other different opportunities as well that you can engage in on Albert's List that we have on a regular monthly basis. We have several webinars next month that you'll be interested in as it relates to your AI experience, and I hope that you'll stick around to learn about those as well. So just a quick little overview of AI and where we are and where we're going. All of you know that, AI is something that has really taken the world by storm, especially generative AI over the last couple of years. But traditional AI has been around for some time now in some capacity. Uh, Analysts and tech people will tell you that AI has really been in existence since the 70s, when you had some of these systems just doing very basic automations. And so AI relies on inputs, it relies on data. A lot of the things that you use in ChatGPT today also rely on data, such as what's written on the internet, what's in YouTube videos, which is what all of these are trained on. And so with machine learning, neural networks, and expert systems, AI is able to understand what is being input, and then generative AI, which is what a lot of us are using today when it comes to ChatGPT and Replit, does a lot of inference type of work to really create that feeling that it is original in its sense, and also can help you create content, create images, and those things as well. And so, where we are today, as since AI has been around for a while, is this generative AI piece. And so, in reality, what we're all talking about these days is very much in this generative AI area, because ChatGPT has become so real, and the experiences that these things create is also very real, right? As many of you know. Some people, because they are isolated, have turned to ChatGPT as a conversational partner. They've used it as a sense of belonging, a sense of companionship. And so, as we get deeper into this AI world, it really becomes ever the more fascinating what people are doing with AI and how they're doing with it, and what sort of socioeconomic impacts that it is building. Yes. Hello. Welcome from the Metro Detroit area. Thank you, Aline. It's good to see you as usual. And so traditional AI versus generative AI use cases. And so for those of us who have worked in tech for a while, the left side is the traditional AI piece, which, is something that has been around for quite some time. if you use your credit card in a location far, far away from where you're actually located, you'll get fraud detection. And sometimes your bank will notice this, and they have AI systems that can see transaction data, and they will sometimes disable your credit card for that reason. Amazon has been using personalized recommendations and algorithms for years to give you things that you probably want to buy on Amazon. Generative AI, on the other hand, is what we commonly see as what's called AI today. You have a lot of automated content creation where you can write poetry or books using ChatGPT. You can generate art, make music with ElevenLabs and Suno and some of these other tools. Or you can create synthetic data or automate content moderation in today's day and age. And this is the one that's most interesting because when it comes to where we're headed as a world, where we're headed as a society, a lot of people are looking at generative AI and their response is my job in danger? And so it's a very valid question, because if you're here and you know the job implications of AI, workers are the greatest expense when it comes to any employer. And so for a lot of companies, anything that they can do to reduce that cost is going to be beneficial to them, though not necessarily to you. And so as AI evolves, we're also now in the world now where new trends are also excuse me, I'm trying to lower a hand here, where new trends are also coming by, including that of agentic AI. And so in ChatGPT, in the latest version of ChatGPT 5, there are now agents that help you do some of the work where they can go online and they can do search for you and so forth. And then there are more advanced agents, which I think will definitely come out in the next couple of months that can do everything from follow-up email to generate invoices to everything in between. And so we're going to see an era where you have the one or two person startup that is pretty much literally doing everything. And so if you are somebody who's also thinking about doing something with AI to start your own side hustle, to start your own content-based business, now is the time for that. All right. But we also have more other trends that are on the way as well that are sort of tangential to all of this. And so ChatGPT 5, I just mentioned, came out earlier this month. It is ChatGPT's latest iteration of their popular program. It is something where you can even build websites and build apps and build code within it now, which really makes it uh, which will make it really cool as well. We also have robots. This one that you see in the top right corner is a robot from a Chinese company that has also made its way into the consciousness of those who uh, rather than those robots have been developed. And what they do is they're also very self-charging. And so that's something that's also coming on its way. Another one is Google's Genie 3. And so if you've ever thought about using AI to create very realistic looking worlds like you see in video games, that it's on its way too. And so Google has developed some really crazy looking software, even beyond what it's done with Veo. And that in itself has created an experience for people that they're going to anticipate. Then the final one is AI banks. And so if you are part of the Albert's List AI newsletter, you saw earlier this week that I sent out a newsletter that mentioned that the country of Malaysia has an AI bank that they have now launched. And that AI bank will now automate a lot of the different processes that bankers rely on a day-to-day basis. So if you hate speaking to tellers, this is going to be the type of business that you're going to enjoy engaging with. I see people from the last webinar that we had. Will the presentation from the Layoff Recovery Masterclass be shared? It is on our YouTube channel, so I encourage you to go and look for it there. It is a live video, and I think I may just add it to the email list when add you to the email list when it's all said and done there. All right. So, how is AI impacting work? So, not only have we spoken a little bit about where AI is headed, there's a lot of really fancy, fantastic innovations coming through, but AI is also impacting work in many different ways too. I'm sure many of you have noticed along the way, whether it's looking for a job, whether it's working in your job, or if you literally just, crawl, if you haven't been living under a rock, there are definitely things that are being said about this every single day. If you have a question again, please use the Q&A or webinar chat. I have those in front of me, and I'm looking at those actively while I present. And so there's a lot of different trends that are really guiding what AI is doing to folks at work. I know that I'm one of these. 22% of US workers that use AI to assist with their work on a weekly basis, compared with just 15% last year. More people are turning to AI, whether their company buys it or not, for them to be more efficient, because people like me and people who have way bigger followings than me have pounded it into our heads that AI will not take your job, but somebody who knows AI will. And so if you are one of the 10 people, and maybe more than 10 people, who indicated that you have not used AI quite yet in your life and your career, you are still very early to the game. And so hopefully today we will share that with you. I will have a QR code to subscribe to the newsletter in a moment. So I would encourage you to all click on that when that becomes available in a few slides here. There's also a lot of talk about the top 10 types of jobs and the many types of jobs that AI will replace. These tend to be repeatable jobs, very commoditized jobs, jobs that can be automated. And so these include everyone from data entry clerks to our much loved telemarketers to bank tellers. And so, it'll be interesting to see how this work, right? Because bank tellers were already threatened once by the automated teller machine. But apparently, you can still walk into a bank and see an ATM, but you may not necessarily walk into a company and see a data entry clerk. Yochin has a question. Does the APA survey provide details on how US workers use AI these days? Or is it mundane as smarter searches or Gen AI images? Or does this really go deep? I didn't look deeply into the APA survey. I have had slides here in the past on how people use AI. I do not know if I have that slide today. It might be, yeah, so this is another disappearance slide. I don't think I necessarily have a slide today on how people use AI at work, but I think it's a combination of content writing, email writing, processing. I know that a lot of companies now have software engineers who use GitHub Copilot to help write code and assist with code writing, all in the name of greater efficiency. So I think any use case that you think would be relevant to any particular industry would be helpful. Yeah. So Claire, yeah, novice coder, and she uses AI to check for bugs and errors. And yeah, so that's definitely one thing and one area that people care about a lot. So yeah, so will these jobs disappear in 2 years? It's really hard to say. One thing that I always want to mention when it comes to anything AI related and the possible fear mongering that we're given on a regular basis is that whenever somebody tells you that AI will destroy half of entry level jobs in 15 years, or that AI will completely change the way you do X, and X being anything that you want it to be, whether it's your ability to cook food or drive a car. I'm always reminded that it's generally speaking that the people who do these always have some software to sell you. And so they need to say something that induces a response from people, and that response from people leads to media mentions, which then leads to potential software purchases because they want you to be fearful and be skilled up so that you will buy their software and help them make money. I guess if you want the sort of, I guess, legalese for that for me behind here, um, my PSA for this is I don't generally have something to sell on this webinar, although I do have courses that will teach you AI. My interest is that I want to get you educated in AI, and you can go and use any AI platform you want so that you become a more resilient and a more and a more indispensable employee in whichever industry that you do at the end of the day. All right. So with that aside, the World Economic Forum has also analyzed what will happen with AI, and a lot of this is right, still all very speculative. Everybody is going to throw out a number there, and then they're going to take away a number, and so 170 million jobs will be created, 92 million jobs will be displaced, with about a billion jobs continuing to evolve in the current labor market. Will that happen too? Also hard to say. Um, Jigme says, I'm skeptical about how AIs affect the taxi rideshare drivers anytime soon. Would love to hear opinions. Yeah, so the I would say the thing about that is that I think they're looking at AI as more of a self-driving assistant when it comes to that. So if you're in San Francisco, there are more Waymos on the street than ever these days. Austin is the same kind of thing, and you're going to see a lot of these taxis that are now available to hail. And the hope is that eventually you can scale these up where you can have drivers drivers replaced by self-driving vehicles. And it's funny because I used to be a person who wanted to retire and become a taxi driver so I could meet new people. And so my retirement dream is slowly going out the window. I think I'm gonna have to find something new here. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Floyd. Yeah. Many people prefer Waymos for safety and reliability reasons. I actually prefer drivers, but that seems to be a minority. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, research shows that they are safer. But you know what? There's also a lot of beauty to driving. I think there is an art and science to driving that one must also have to appreciate. All right. Here's another one. So this is one that just came out yesterday that I saw from one of the folks that I follow, Ian Bremmer. He is a geopolitical scientist, and he posted this, which was employee headcount among software developers by age. And one thing that has really kind of, I think, set people into thinking how the world is changing is the arrival of AI, right? If you look at 2021 and up to really the midpoint, late point of 2022, um, all of software engineering grew at all paces for everybody. And to some cases, I think even those who were junior between 22 to 25 years of age saw their employment opportunities skyrocket. And then once ChatGPT started somewhere here in 2020, late 2022, early 2023, you can see how things have changed significantly. So those who are in the early mid levels are doing okay. Their job opportunities aren't necessarily increasing too much. Those who are seniors are seeing their job opportunities doing really, really well because they have knowledge of the industry and can hit the ground running. But if you look at those who are from 22 to 25 years of age, these are the ones who just graduated from their computer engineering, computer science degrees. They are struggling because AI can do a lot of coding now. And the concern that we see here, of course, too, is that if you rely on just the seniors, and this is, I guess, more commentary than anything else, is that if you rely on the seniors versus and don't hire any junior people, what are you going to do to create the next generation? And of course, one thing about tech that I have gotten to know is that software engineers, especially, are always writing themselves out of a job. And so, who knows what we're going to see? Who knows what's going to happen? But I think that it is disappointing that we have thrown away human talent in exchange for the future in exchange for what we have here in the present. And so this is something to watch. We already know the sociological impacts of a bad job market. And we hash those out on other webinars, including the one yesterday, which is our monthly economics webinar, but we won't talk about that too much over here. Um, Jochin says, I doubt that that graph is only or even mostly caused by AI. Due to the overall economic instability, a lot of companies don't want to invest in junior applicants. Instead, they want to hire folks who can hit the ground running on day one. This creates the exact same issues that you explain, namely that this will lead to a dearth of talented mid to senior level practitioners. Yeah, that's also true. That could be definitely mixed in with that as well. And so the only way to know whether this actually changes is whether we lower interest rates significantly, and that spurs a ton of investment, and we see that perhaps the junior level software engineers become back in demand. So we will see what happens here. But as of right now, there's probably two ways to look at it, and none of them are great outcomes for what we want to see in society. All right. So the other thing that is also coming out is that AI adoption is also leading to an overall decline in young US workers, as a Stanford study had revealed yesterday, or 2 days ago. And so what they're doing and what they're seeing now is that entry-level jobs are in great decline. So if you're somebody who just graduated from school this past June and you got your diploma and you got your everything, it's not looking good for you, generally speaking. It depends on what you're doing. If you're in healthcare, you're probably doing fantastic. If you're a software engineer, then it ain't so great. And so when it comes to where we're headed with this now, the overall decline can also be back to what Joshin had said earlier, that many companies also don't want to hire young people in uncertain economic times. But if this trend continues even to good economic times, then it's bad news for all of us. And so, yeah, this is reflected in surveys of what college kids are saying. 63% are about AI eliminating their job prospects. 61% are worried about the loans they took out. And, all of that is connected because if you take out a loan and you can't pay it back, that just makes it even more difficult. Yeah. And it's also been complex for career transitioners. Yeah. Claire, because I think a lot of people are looking for people who can hit the ground running on day one. And so if you can get an interview as a career transitioner, then you're doing pretty well. But if you can't, then it's going to be a pretty wild struggle out there. And then there's this other thing that also came out in the last couple of weeks, and this was a fascinating one too. MIT came out with a report that 95% of generative AI pilots at companies are failing. And, I think that for the AI skeptics here, this one's an interesting one, because in general, right, 95% of startups and businesses end up going on to fail because it's just a really tough business market out there. But if 95% of generative AI pilots at companies are not working right now, and the 5% that are working tend to be your operational activities and so forth that are just going into your normal everyday work-related items, then it's a really interesting indictment of what AI could be used for and what AI is currently being used for. And so, yeah, like you said, Jigme, I think there's a lot of talk right now about similarities to the AI bubble and the dot-com bubble. And the AI bubble has been coined. ChatGPT CEO Sam Altman was saying just last week that AI is probably in a bubble. And it's a bubble that is 100% of his doing because he talked so much about it and hyped it up so much that maybe he realized he hyped it up a little bit too far. And so if he's looking for anybody to blame for AI being in a bubble, he just needs to go to his bathroom mirror and he'll see it there. So at the end of the day, AI, what the heck, right? Even with all that said, the various diverging and converging opinions, I still think that AI is the future, and maybe I put an asterisk at some point, depending on where we are in the bubble, to say for now. But wherever AI goes, one thing that I've always known about tech when it came to the internet, when it came to cloud, mobile, social media, that it's not about hitting the moon, but rather reaching somewhere in the stars. Tech is a very interesting industry in that they love to pitch everybody really gigantic stories about where a collective thing is going, and they would love to hit that vision, but hitting that vision is next to near impossible. And so if they hit something that comes out to the fact that maybe AI ends up being a very niche background tool that most of us will use anyway, and it'll help us do stuff, but it won't replace any of our jobs, that's where we may very well end up. And we have to consider that that could be it too. Or we could end up in a world where AI and we solve the AI energy question and we give water to everybody while giving AI, that we end up in a situation where none of us have jobs. And what's the situation there? And so I'm going to also repeat the line that your job may not be lost to AI, but somebody who knows how to use it. And by use it, it's somebody who knows how to prompt, somebody knows who knows where AI fits in with the overall narrative of what matters and what doesn't matter. And so, how you position yourself with AI, how you teach yourself AI, what you can use AI to do are all really, really fascinating use cases, right? There's many different things, and I'm going to show you two of them today. Maybe if there's time, I'll show you a third. And so, a lot of it is your ability to be resourceful and also be scrappy in figuring out how AI can help you close productivity gaps. And in between all of that, for all of those who live in the United States here, which I think is many of you, I didn't see many out of country folks. The US government is also heavily investing in AI. I don't need to tell you about how much uh, how much President Trump has invested in it, or how many of these companies are now providing ChatGPT to the government for $1, or how much AI is being implemented in our agencies. But it's happening there, and if it's happening there, it's going to be happening out here as well. And so we're going to see how that all works together. And so with AI now being here, it's going to lead to many different businesses, many different skill sets that can be learned. And so I welcome everyone here to just think about how they can leverage it in their day to day. And it's not easy, right? I'm a person who has a lot of ADHD. And when it comes to all the AI things out there, you can look at my snoozed folder on Gmail, and I clearly have a problem because I want to build AI agents. I want to automate my videos. I want to um, see what side hustles I can build with AI and hopefully bring them back to you. And it's a lot of different things at once. And if somebody figures out how to cure my ADHD, maybe I can focus on one thing. But to that same effect, you want to be good a little bit of everything too, so that you can see what AI can possibly do for you. And so I've created a few things here in my life with AI that have been marginally useful. I have my career coach wizard, which I can link you to all later, which is the career coaching wizard that I use as my personal career coach. I've uploaded my LinkedIn, I've uploaded my resume, and I sometimes consult it for product marketing prep help. I sometimes consult it to figure out where my next career move ought to be. I also have a grant writer that I've created for my girlfriend's nonprofit, Mujeres de Acción, which means Women of Action in Spanish. And so it's a grant writer that has taken all of her fundamental documents that make up her nonprofit, her websites, her press releases, what the media has said about her, social posts, and it's put these all together so that whenever she has a grant that she wants to write for her nonprofit, this grant writer is ready to go to fill in the gaps. And so a 3 to 6 hour grant now takes 45 minutes to write, because this grant writer embedded within ChatGPT knows exactly what her nonprofit is about and can write much better and can write to her voice. And so if there's things that you're looking to create with ChatGPT or AI or so forth, put them in the webinar chat. I'd love to know what you're thinking of building and what you're thinking of making, because there's a lot of ways to do a lot of different things at this point. And so you also may be wondering, okay, I have a subscription to ChatGPT, or I want to look at Claude, or I want to look at Gemini, and I want to get started, but I have no idea where to get started. I totally feel you there because there's people who are going to try and pull you 15 million different ways here on the internet today. And so the next set of slides are promotional slides for things that you can engage with it on Albert's list. And these are all promotional. Some of these are free, some of these are paid, but here we go. So the first one I have is how to build a side hustle with AI in one weekend. This is coming up in 3 weeks on September 18th. And this is an interesting one. So Mohit, who is my friend here, has built a real estate and content business that makes $30,000 a year with a lot of automation with AI and AI software tools. And he's doing really well. And he's also working a day job at Salesforce. So he's making dual incomes on this. And what he's created for Albert's Listers is a course and also a webinar here where he teaches how you can build your own side hustle based on your existing expertise. If you're somebody who has any type of expertise, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a marketer, whether you're somebody who's really into trains, planes, and automobiles, or whether you're really into home decor and home design, there is an AI possibility out there for you that you can turn into a business and help others online. And so Mohit will give you the ideas of how you can do that with your existing LinkedIn profile and your resume. And you can sign up for this free webinar on September 18th at 7 p.m. Pacific. And we have a course attached to this, but he will get you started and get your juices flowing and thinking. So I hope to see you all there. I'm also hosting something the day before called How to Strategize and Execute Your Job Search with ChatGPT in 1 hour. And this course starts at $5. And so this one comes from a pain point that I've seen with many job seekers. I asked this question a few months ago, and I want to get an idea of how people in this webinar chat feel today. Tell me how long it takes for you to plan your job search. Does it take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 3 months, or are you good to go within 48 hours? And thank you to Aline for the meetup. I appreciate that. Oh, hey Mani, welcome. So, how long does it take overall to do your job search in time? So like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, very simple approach, LinkedIn, very nice. You're good to go. Yeah, when you plan your job search, I mean everything leading up to when you're able to submit an application. Yeah. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to turn your job search process and all the thinking that goes into planning your job search, which encompasses the interview answers that you can now give, updating your resume, updating your LinkedIn, updating the networking events that you want to go to, and so forth, into 60 minutes or less. Right. So if your job search is taking you forever, I want to take it from forever to 60 minutes or less. And so the paralysis analysis is something that I want to get rid of for all of you. And so that's what we're going to do in this 1 hour webinar. I'm not going to teach you any AI. I'm not going to talk about what AI is for half an hour. I'm going to open up ChatGPT. I'm going to find a volunteer in the crowd, and we're going to get it going. So that's what this one is. And then for those of you who don't want to do any of those things, maybe you just want to read about AI, I have my free weekly AI newsletter called literally the Albert's List AI newsletter, or I call it Last Week in AI. So think of it as Last Week Tonight, the TV show with John Oliver, meeting your AI future. And so what I share in it every week is I share prompts, new technologies, news that I think is important, as well as long reads. And then I also share what I'm trying or testing out or things that are really compelling to me. And if you really love long form copy, I talk about how AI is going to affect the job search in my introductory paragraphs. And so if you're looking for insights on that, the newsletter is free. I want you to do a sign up. I want you to sign up for that. And it comes out every single Tuesday. And if you click on the ads that come through on Beehive, I also get paid. So that's also a good thing too if you want to sign up and help me out that way so they don't have to create a paid newsletter. Sundar, have you ever thought about doing a webinar about emerging future job trends? You know, that's a really good one. And that's one that I've been talking to a couple of panelists about. And I think that I might actually do something around that soon. So, yeah. Okay. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and move into the demo portion of today's webinar. so that we can do some stuff around AI and just go through what is possible with everything here. I don't even know where I'm screen sharing at this point. Can you see my screens at all? Okay. All right. So can you still see my screen? Let's stop share for a moment and then let's reshare. Okay, cool. So here we are. I believe you can still see my screen. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of things today, and we have time for a third one, which I'll just put in the thing here. I'm just going to go ahead and log into this for now, and I'll come back to later if we have time. So the first one is Replit. How many of you have heard of vibe coding? Vibe coding is a relatively new, I wouldn't say concept, but I think a new tactic that a lot of people are using. Um, and what they're doing with this is literally using copy to create a website. So, are any of you here in the crowd web developers? If you are a web developer, you may want to look over to the side in the next 5 to 10 minutes, or you can look at how your job is about to evolve. So, uh, because we are here in a job search webinar today, I want to offer what Replit can do for you in pretty much 5 short minutes. So I'm going to say, create a professional portfolio website for me. I'm a marketing manager in the B2B software as a service space, and the founder of Albert's List. Um, include contact me form, blog, and social media icons. All right. So literally, you're going to create a simple professional website that has all the things that you would think would be in there. And so I'm going to go ahead and hit submit here. And so what Replit does is that it thinks through what it is that you have said, and it also infers what it thinks that you will need. And this can apply to everything from building a professional website all the way out to a mobile app, all the way to a Google Chrome extension if you want to. And so there's a lot of different things that you can do here, and Replit is $180 a year. And so what it comes back with is it comes back with a professional homepage, blog sections, things like that. And so, um, okay. And so when we're ready to build, it's given us this in 30 seconds. We'll go ahead and we'll approve that plan. Let me close this a little bit here. There we go. So regardless of what it thinks of my name being Albert Johnson, it is building this as we speak. And of course, yes, you can also, I don't know if you can upload a reference image, but I mean, we can try that. Do you have a website that you'd like me to try, Renee? I don't want to go on the internet and, assume things here. So if you have a reference website, I think you could also probably attach a file and tell it to look like what you want it to look like, and then it can build something similar too. Okay, awesome, cool. So here's what we're going to do then. So this is Renee's website at reneemorris.com. I'm going to do a screenshot of this homepage, and I'm going to say, go to recents desktop, and we'll say, make make the website look like this. Um, I'm going to add it to the queue while it develops the website, but here's everything being developed so far. And as you look at what's here, you can also tell it to update the copy later on as well. So if you see things here like saying Albert's List started as a simple newsletter, and I would might say Albert's List did not start as a simple newsletter. Albert's List was a Google Sheet, which is true. Then you could also determine that as well. Um, I believe 11 Labs might have a free version. You can use it for free for the first month for just $1. I believe. That's how I started with it. And it's the most interesting $5 I spend per month. So, yeah, so here we go. Some blog posts here, which I can probably need to go and edit later. And then the get in touch form and so forth. And you can say my phone number is this, and that, and so forth. And so I'm still waiting for it to, I think, complete here. But yeah, essentially in 3 minutes, we've built a full-scale website that we can go and edit ourselves in a little bit. You can also tell it to update the color by giving it a color hex code and have it change that as well. So yeah. How does Replit differ from Lovable and Bolt? So there's not that many differences. Um, I would say all of them are sort of this vibe coding thing. And Replit does support hosting. I'm hoping that at some point that once this is complete, I can also show you the deployment button. I tried that for the very first time today, and it was incredibly simple, and it really is very, very seamless. So even if you're somebody who's not technical whatsoever and all you want to do is build a basic website, this ends up working really, really well. Okay, so let's scroll to the latest. So is it still working? Okay, so let's actually clear this queue here. I think it's still creating a few more things. So ChatGPT can kind of do this. So, um, you can say build a simple website for me. Um, include a link to my LinkedIn and a short bio. So we'll do that really quickly too. Replit is $15 a month. I get no money for promoting them. I just find it to be a really, really cool tool. So what ChatGPT 5 does now is also it also codes. And once it's finished coding, you can also preview it, and then you can also copy and paste it and create your own website with it. And so as you can see, it's literally coding right now. And let's see. Okay. So let's see how this does, right? So you can click preview and it has built a website here just like that. And so if you want something really simple like this, Claire, I think ChatGPT 5 is the free version will let you do this too. And you can probably download the code and then upload it somewhere. ChatGPT 5 also can code video games now. So I'm going to do something really quickly where you can say, um, make a very basic version of Pong, right? Um, and what it'll do here, if you remember Pong, it's the ping pong game that was the very first video game from 1972. It can also create this in an HTML format here now, where you can preview it and play it. And if you really want to embed it, you can do that too. So let's see how long this takes. Okay. We can build a website, but can we go live with that newly created website? Yes, you can. Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of people like Claude. I am thinking of whether I need to like buy and subscribe to more of these AI tools. But yeah, it's incredibly, it's like I said, I have a lot of ADHD and it's pretty wild. Can ChatGPT create animations? It probably could. So we can preview this, right? And so you can press space to play and pause. I'm going to press space to play, right? And you can literally have created Pong now on ChatGPT 5. And I don't know what the other, I guess the other person would play. Oh, okay, W and S, right? So we'll play this on this side, and then we'll play this on this side. And it's pretty just crazy how how this has become that, right? That um I've never really coded a day in my life, much less a video game, but I have just built Pong inside of ChatGPT 5. And if you want something that's a little bit more complicated, ChatGPT could probably do something like that too, but it is kind of wild that it can do this here. So now that we've kind of done that, I'm going to go back to the marketing portfolio page. The agent is ready, and I can probably say, can can you recreate the website to look like this? And so we're going to see what Replit does here. I understand all these make it easy for building websites. Can you explain what else we can build and what makes them special? Yeah, so what you could do also is you could build a mobile app inside of Replit. So if you wanted to say build a mobile app for daily habits and make it a checklist. Um, And so I have no idea really what I just typed there, but we'll call it a habit tracker. Um, and it'll give you the requirements that it's building there as well. But yeah, let's see. We'll close out of Pong here. Let's see. Create an animation of a dog jumping. I know one of you asked about that earlier. Let's see, Renee, what happens. Meanwhile, yeah, it's working on an implementation plan. If we build a website Replit, then we need to pay Replit till the time we use the website or it's in existence. Yeah, you would. So I'll go ahead and approve this plan. I'm gonna let it create this app here for now while going back to the website. We'll go back to the marketing portfolio. We've asked it to recreate the website here, and let's see what happens. And what I want to do before the end of the hour. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, it redesigned it. At least the top of it did. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and from here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit deploy. And so Replit will automatically let you deploy it into some place as well for a little bit of the credit cost that you have per month. I'm gonna make this a really low machine configuration because I don't expect any traffic. But basically, you have two virtual CPUs and a half gig of RAM running it. I'm going to call it marketing portfolio Albert Chen 1.replit.app. And what you can do if you really wanted to is you can also purchase a domain. And if you also want a production database, you can create that too. So I'm going to go ahead and hit deploy. And what it's going to do is it's going to deploy the website here that I just built. And once it's live, I can share it with all of you, and then you can go and visit it. And if you really want your own domain name, you can also buy a domain. Replit is also now in the domain name business. So that's also something to consider as well. Um, okay. And then they also have a tab here that shows you the analytics and the traffic and so forth for your website. So it's almost like non-thinking, if you will, to some effect. So how does this website look now? Okay, yeah. So it's been rewritten. And it's actually a lot shorter too. So, yeah, Renee, it pretty much took your took your website, and obviously you need to add logos here, but it does it pretty well here. So, yeah, so here we go, right? it's now built this website, and if you want to see it for yourself, you can go to this link and visit it. Yeah, I would think so, Robert. Yeah, I think it would be able to do that. Yeah. Um, yeah. What is the future of UX UI designers? I think it's hard to know. I think if it's for small businesses, then it's really difficult. If you're looking at a much bigger company with a lot more different things, then maybe it's a little bit easier. Someone just also asked about files. So if you're looking for files, they're all like in here. So I don't even know why this looks like this, but if you want the files and if you want to download all the files, you can download as a zip file from here and use it. So that will give you all the code that you want to look at. And I don't know why it looks like this, but yeah, um, yeah. So there you go. That's Replit for you. And this is the website. And I don't know what happens if I were to go ahead and click this and send a message. But yeah, it may very well send a message there for all I know, even though that email is not something that I currently own. Um, yeah, and these links aren't even are links that you'll have to update as well. All right, so is this an animation? This is not an animation, but it's a picture of a cute looking dog. Um, yeah. All right, so the final thing that I want to show today, and I'm very, very happy that all of you are guiding this webinar today, um, and you're all very curious. So come back every month and we can do all of this fun stuff on my dime. Let's see. I see a couple more questions. I want to do the mock interview thing as the last thing before we depart. The issue is where to upload it and where to host it. So yeah, you can host it on Replit, or you can download the files and host it on your own personal server. Do you have any information about the extent to which Replit supports accessibility features in resulting websites and applications? I think you can ask. So you can say, I would like this website to be accessible to colorblind individuals. Can you update it to meet those standards? Okay, so we'll hit resume and we'll see what Replit has to say. So it's considering options. Yep. So improving color contrast ratios, visual indicators, ensuring that all interactive elements are clearly distinguishable. So we'll be able to test that by, I think, looking at how this website is updated. So if there's anything in particular that you want me to see, let me know. But in the meantime, I also want to do something around interviewing. So this is something that we do in the ChatGPT workshop, and I'm just gonna give a really super basic one, and I'm gonna say, actually, I'm gonna go into my custom GPT here. So this is the custom GPT that I've developed, and I'm gonna say, I am preparing for a job interview at AWS for a product marketing job on Amazon Alexa. Help me prepare for the interview by giving me, or by preparing me rather. Actually, help me prepare for the interview with common questions that Amazon asks in their interview philosophy. And then I'm going to go a little bit more organized. I'm going to say column A, question type. So star question, frugality, curiosity, etc. Column B, um, the question itself. Column C, um, how I would answer based on my resume. Column D, the answer itself. And if you're really feeling interesting, why this is a good answer. All right, so I'm a full stack developer planning to begin my career in AI. What would you suggest me to begin with? I am planning to build chatbots. I would say start building them. Um, Go and read the documentation, go read what other people are doing, and build them for yourselves. Okay, so for those of you who are looking for AI to help you with your job interviews, this is something that I've used in my job search coaching and also for the 1 hour workshop that is upcoming. So this is where I've asked ChatGPT to help me prepare for an interview and then put it in table format, how I can answer various questions to keep things organized. And so, as many of you know, I used Amazon because Amazon has a very organized interviewing process. And their interviewing process invokes their leadership principles. And so, their leadership principles are everything from customer obsession to a bias for action, frugality, thinking big, and so forth. And also star questions as well. And what I've asked it to do is I've asked it to categorize these questions, uh, tell me, and also, and then ask the questions themselves and then the stories from my resume that I've uploaded here to ChatGPT, and then the answer that I would give and why that answer is a good answer. And so this works in the ChatGPT world because it helps you with your ability to organize and really get on track with your job search if that's what you're looking to do. Thanks for the lesson. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for those who have been here. Have I compared if my custom GPT and GPT-5 produce similar output? Yeah. So I can go ahead and move it into ChatGPT-5, and I'm going to go ahead and answer this question again. Um, Ask this question again, rather. I'm going to say use ChatGPT-5 for comparison. Sure. Yeah, I can link it to mine. Column C, column D. So let's do it with ChatGPT 5. And since you're all wondering, um, wow, Mark Cuban with 60 apps on his phone. Okay, so let's refresh this actually. Okay, so we're back here. Um, okay, it is stopping on me right now. Oh, here we go. All right, there we go. Great. Okay, so I think it goes a little bit more detailed, right? So instead of just giving me the answers here, it's telling me how to answer this question in star format, which is really, really great. Because ChatGPT, or rather AWS, really likes it um, when you are able to point to past successes. So here's that GPT thread. I invite you to take a look at it. So yeah, and then what you can also do is you can also ask AWS, now act as if you are the manager for this role at AWS and interview me one question at a time. Give me feedback for my answer, right? And so you can also do it as a mock interview, and from that mock interview, gain your skills in terms of figuring out what you need to say. All right, so there we go. I'm at the end of this. I am at the top of the hour. I want to thank you all for your time. I hope to see you on many of our webinars later next month that cover AI, and I look forward to answering your questions. So, yeah, I hope this was helpful for many of you today. If you enjoyed it, come back soon and have a wonderful rest of your weekend and Labor Day. All right, chat with you all soon. Have a really great evening and goodbye.